the Bible promised a restoration. In 1882, it was reported that there were 24,000, a census was taken of people living in Israel, and it was found that 24,000 Jews lived in Israel in 1882. 150 years later, there's 6.8 million Jews that live in Israel today. God has brought the people back into the land. There's a restoration of the land, its fruitfulness, its people of Israel returning to the land, Jerusalem back to Israel. Let me give you a couple of verses. In Ezekiel 36:8, God prophesies to the mountains of Israel. But you, O mountains of Israel, you shall shoot forth branches and yield your fruit to my people Israel, for they are about to come. The first thing that God did was restore the land. So if you visit the land today, you do not find what Mark Twain found. You find the opposite. You find kibbutz and agriculture and farms everywhere you go. You found that Israel leads the world in desalinating water, and they are using the desalinated water to be able to make land that is previously unfarmable to be able to farm it. And they are able to feed the entire population of Israel and have more to be able to sell with what they grow in Israel itself. In Ezekiel 37, one chapter after he says to the mountains, I'm going to restore you, my people are about to come. In Ezekiel 37:21 it says, then say to them, thus says the Lord God, surely I will take the children of Israel from among the nations, wherever they have gone, and will gather them from every side and bring them into their own land. God says he's going to bring them in from the north, the south, the east, and the west, that he's going to bring them in. Now, the restoration is not complete yet. We're in the middle of it. And God also promised that Israel would become a nation again, and it would happen in a day. And that happened in 1948. And the Dead Sea Scrolls that, again, tell the Old Testament story, every book of the Old Testament was represented in the Dead Sea Scrolls except for Esther and I think Ezra. And a portion of Ezra was connected with Nehemiah. So really Esther was the only book that wasn't represented in it. Found in 1947, which tells all the accounts of Israel in the land, and then Israel becomes a nation in 1948. Is that a coincidence? But the story continues on in the Bible. There's things that we're told that God's going to do that haven't been done yet. And there are two of them. The restoration of the temple and the salvation of the people of Israel. Let me give you the salvation of the people of Israel first. Romans 11:25 and 26. For I do not desire, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. And so all Israel will be saved, as it is written, I will deliver, the deliverer will come out of Zion, and he will turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So we've learned in this study alone that Jerusalem's going to be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles is going to be fulfilled, and blindness is going to happen to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. Those seem to be two different events. Jerusalem is trampled underfoot until the fullness of the Gentiles comes in, and then blindness happens to them. Let's see how I'm getting those confused now. Anyway, you can read them yourself. They're two different events that take place, but that it has to do with the Gentiles. It seems like the time of the Gentiles is done now. God's dealing with the nation of Israel. Not that we aren't going out and doing the work and we're the church and we'll do all those things until the last Gentile comes in and it's time for that work to be done. Now, the second thing so God's going to save all of Israel. All of Israel is going to receive Jesus as their Messiah. If you are ministering to someone who is Jewish today, be encouraged. There are more Jews who are Christians today than ever before. There's a larger number now than ever before. And it's happening at a great rate. And God's beginning to do this work, and God's going to do it more because it says all of them will be saved. I don't know about you, but all seems like an awful lot. There's some 14 million Jews in the world today, maybe 15 million. I haven't looked that number up in a while. but all will be saved. They're going to realize that Jesus is the Messiah, and they are going to receive him.